dangerous situations. You must make sure you're wearing the correct protective gloves. When using chemicals, it will be necessary to use appropriate barrier creams and/or protective gloves. Beware of touching anything hot unless you are protected. Make sure you have a clear view of the job you are carrying out. Always cut away from your body and look to see who else might be injured if you cut carelessly. It only takes a second for an accident to happen. Hazardous substances. We have identified and assessed all the hazardous substances that we use or produce on site and carry out regular sampling to ensure that nobody is exposed to levels that may be dangerous to their health. Handling and working with hazardous materials can be dangerous and requires extreme caution at all times. Special control measures may be required, including local extraction, or you may be required to wear appropriate PPE, such as gloves or a face mask. Always read the label on the substance you are going to use. There will also be a safety data sheet and assessment, which will have more information on any hazards that may be present. Ask your supervisor if you are unsure about anything. Manual handling. Lifting, carrying, pushing and pulling are things we do every day without thinking. But these manual activities are one of the greatest causes of workplace injury. At BPI, we're working at eliminating the risk of injury from manual handling, and where needed, lifting equipment will be provided. Every year, thousands of people injure their backs at work by not following the correct method of lifting. These injuries can cause lifelong pain and discomfort. You must take all training seriously. You'll be trained in kinetic handling, which is the correct method of pushing, pulling and lifting. Make sure you always carry out your manual handling the correct way. Stop and think. If you don't feel you can lift something, don't. If, however, you feel you can, place yourself in a good position. Bend your knees and keep your back straight. Take a grip on the load and start to lift in a smooth upward movement. If you think at the start of the lift that the load is too heavy, don't continue. To put your load down, you need to reverse the lifting procedure. Never attempt to lift anything you know is above your capability. Get assistance. Report any potential hazards to your supervisor and report any lifting equipment that is not working correctly. Also, notify your supervisor if you have a problem that may result in you not being able to lift what is considered a normal load. Where lifting equipment is provided, it must be used. It may take a few seconds longer, but it will save you years of pain and discomfort. Manual handling is not a problem if carried out correctly. Office safety. Many serious and disabling accidents occur in office environments every year. You must play your part to ensure the safety of yourself and those who work with you. It's important that you store equipment and materials in a safe manner, keeping aisles and fire escape routes free, and ensuring heavy items are not stored at height. Walkways within offices must be kept clear of trailing cables at all times. Ensure there is no overloading of electrical sockets. Check for visual signs of damage such as exposed cables or discoloured plugs. Do not use damaged electrical equipment. Equipment should be turned off when not in use and when the office is unoccupied. All computer users must ensure their workstation is set up correctly, as poorly set up workstations can result in a number of health issues, including eye strains and upper limb disorders. An assessment on each user's workstation will be carried out, and you must follow the BPI safety guidance provided. Personal protective equipment. We're working hard to remove hazards and minimize the dangers that arise at work. However, some of the many tasks that you will undertake at BPI will involve the wearing of some form of personal protective equipment. PPE, as it's commonly referred to, may include items such as earmuffs, protective gloves, safety harnesses, etc. PPE is for your protection. All the equipment that you need will be provided, and you will receive instructions on how and when to use it. If you have any questions, you must consult your supervisor. It is important that you look after your PPE and store it correctly, and if it is worn or damaged, then it must be replaced. Safety shoes must be worn in designated areas. Protective gloves are an important piece of PPE. The type of glove required will vary from task to task. Gloves are used to protect against hazards such as knife cuts, chemicals, or extreme temperatures. Noise is an important part of everyday life, but at too high a level can cause permanent hearing damage. Whilst at work, you may be exposed to loud noise for extended periods. If hearing protection is not worn, it may result in gradual, painless, and irreversible damage to your hearing. We have assessed the noise levels in all of our factories. Areas where noise levels exceed government recommendations will be declared hearing protection zones and will be clearly marked. Hearing protection must be worn by all people in these areas. Failure to do so could result in serious damage to your hearing. It is important that you ensure that your hearing protection is fitted correctly. You will be shown how to fit your hearing protection, and you must wear it. Please remember, this equipment is for your protection and is only provided because there is a real need to use it. Work equipment. At BPI, there are many types of work equipment and machinery. BPI has carried out assessments of all its work equipment to ensure that they are safe to operate. You will be provided with specific training and will only be permitted to operate equipment that you have been trained on. Where possible, protection is provided from machinery hazards in the form of guards and safety devices. Guards and safety devices must never be removed or defeated, as this is not only extremely dangerous, but is also a criminal offence. You must ensure that all guards and safety devices are present and working correctly before operating any machinery. You must also ensure that you know where the emergency stop buttons are located. Electricity has the potential to kill. You are not permitted to access electrical cabinets unless you have been trained and authorised by the company. It's important that you inspect any electrical equipment, cables and connections before switching on or using. And remember, you must report any faults immediately to your supervisor. Workplace transport. Many people are killed in the workplace each year by moving vehicles. Vehicles in and around the workplace present many potential dangers. It is essential that you are constantly aware of vehicles in your work area. You must also ensure that you follow the safety procedures, which include always using the designated walkways and crossing points provided. Never take shortcuts. If there is a pedestrian door, you must use it. Never be tempted to walk through a designated vehicle doorway. It is essential that you wear high visibility clothing when required. This will increase the driver's ability to see you. Reversing vehicles create the greatest danger, as the driver's vision is often limited. Do not walk into areas where a vehicle is reversing. Fork trucks must only be driven by people who are suitably trained and authorised by the company to do so. We hope that you are beginning to see that accidents don't just happen, they are caused. And we require you to follow the safety information provided in this film, together with the safe working procedures you will be trained in during your career with BPI. Health and safety is everyone's responsibility, and we're asking you to make safety your first priority.